let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. It is 6:05. We'll start with a roll call.
Mrs. Frazier?
Here.
Mr. Midley?
Here.
Mr. Spice?
Here.
And Mr. Markovitz and Mr. Sharma.
Okay. I'll ask for a motion to excuse our absent members.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Mrs. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Midley?
Yes.
Mr. Spice?
Yes.
All right. And then we were delivered the meeting minutes in our packets this week.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't see anything to object to. Do you? Either
No.
of you have anything?
No. I would move to approve it as noted.
Okay, I'll second it. I'll second it.
Mr. Spice?
Yes.
Mr. Midley?
Yes.
Mrs. Frazier?
Yes. Is there anyone here tonight that does not have a case on the agenda? You're both representing cases. Okay, then we can go ahead and take the first case, which is 10735 Ravenna Road, Twinsburg Pharmacy sign.
Sorry. Good evening. My name is Gomesius and I'm representing the owner of Twinsburg Pharmacy. They're in the plaza where the Goodwill is and Sassy's, same plaza.
Okay.
We are updating their current sign, which you have a copy of, I believe. It's just a regular cabinet sign. It's internally illuminated with light bulbs. Very hard to see from the road and not very bright. So the owner has requested to kind of liven it up so it can be seen from the road. So we're changing it from a cabinet sign to an internally illuminated channel letter sign with a logo in the middle, which is the other photo that you have.
Do you know how long this sign, the existing sign, has been up?
I have no idea.
I don't know why I don't recognize it.
It's next to, it used to be El Campesino, the Mexican restaurant.
Oh,
Yeah.
They're right next door. It's really hard to see. I mean,
Okay.
even when it's on, you can't see it unless you're right in front of the parking lot.
Right,
Which-
there's a lot of different colors and text
Yes, there's
sizes,
just
and
a
there's a
lot.
lot going on in it, so I probably just look at it and don't read it.
yeah, I can't
It's
remember
really hard to
what's
read
next
even
to
when
it.
you're right next to it. It's just
Right.
very, very busy.
Now this looks nice, and you'll repair the fascia, anything that
Yeah,
needs
we're gonna patch and
patch and paint. And,
correct. Yeah.
Okay, so it'll be smoothed over, and
Yep.
Mhm.
does it
Yeah.
light up? It's internally illuminated.
The one that he has
The
today.
new
new
one.
one, yes,
The
it'll
new
be
one is,
it'll be
okay.
internally illuminated. Yes.
Okay.
So this is just like a private company, like somebody starting up a pharmacy? Is
No,
it
it's been there from what I understand, it's been there for a while.
for a while?
Just nobody.
You know, I haven't been in that spot in like so long.
It's
I drive around it.
It's
so-
very hard to see, and unless you're actually there to do business with them,
Yeah.
you don't
So
even.
there was a sign there already?
It's the cabinet sign that
The
you
one
see.
that's on the next page.
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve it as submitted.
I'll second.
Mrs. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Midley?
Yes.
Mr. Spice?
Yes.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank
evening.
you.
Thank you.
And Jen, you can have mine. Reading it. Yes. blue.
Oh, you have one of those.
Yeah. You know what? Makes me more organized sometimes, I swear. So this last I got so many damn things.
Was that a sneeze or a cough?
Hmm.
Was that a sneeze or a
That was
cough? Oh, okay. Good.
Okay, and the next case is at 9314 Helen Lane.
How's it going? I'm Kevin
Hi.
from Northeast Ohio Deck Company, just representing Chris here. I believe the questions are about the roof. Is that what we're going over?
Typically on,
Yeah, a project that comes with, anything that comes with a roof comes through the board.
Okay.
right,
So you're building a new deck?
Yeah,
Or
there's going to be a
just-
new deck going in the existing spot that they actually have a deck right now. We're going to tear that down, completely rebuild it,
okay,
and then it's going to have 6x6 footer posts on 2-foot wide post holes, 12 inches thick. And then we wrap the posts in a vinyl sleeve so it'll be white. And then the beam itself will be wrapped in like a white AZAC, so it'll look
Okay.
very nice. And
Alright, so
then-
just to start with, the existing deck that we're seeing the pictures of, that's completely being removed.
Yeah, that's getting completely torn
Okay.
out. Yep.
so all new footers, and then, but you're trimming it out in, it's gonna be made of all composite,
Yeah, composite deck.
and it's gonna have some type of roof system above it,
Yeah, there's gonna be a shed roof on it.
that's why you're here, okay?
Yep.
All right, so it's good that you're gonna have all that trimmed out though with the nice white and everything. So the rails on the deck will be white too, obviously?
Yeah, to match. Yep.
Okay, and then just curious, what's your decking color? Gray or-
I believe it's antique leather, so it's almost like a teak color.
Okay, a tea color, okay. And then as it goes up, you're gonna have columns for the roof system?
Yes.
You're not gonna have walls on the side?
No walls.
And
The
that's
side,
gonna be trimmed all in
the
white.
upper side will be enclosed in just in that little gable area, but no walls themselves.
And that's all trimmed on the ceiling too?
Yeah, so
Ceiling's
on the
gonna be
ceiling
trimmed.
underneath, it'll be like white soffit,
Okay.
and then on the side, we're doing siding to match the siding on the house.
So everything's trimmed in white,
Yeah,
inside out?
Yep.
Okay.
So you have a 1-foot overhang. It says you have seamless gutter, so there's gutter, downspouts
yep.
tied into something.
It'll be pitched to the yard. I believe he says it's going down to grade. The downspout will be going down to grade.
But it
Yeah,
won't be
just-
tied into the system, right? It's
No,
gonna drain off.
no.
Looks like you're coming to about a foot below the windows. The existing second-story windows.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, that's good.
And then there's an existing sunroom roof. You're staying, it shows that your roof ends before this other window.
Okay.
Am I seeing this right? In your elevation, there's a window and your roof ends, no. But then you're also showing it going up to the,
So if it butts into that,
does it butt into the sunroom that's on the back of the house, or does it end before the window? Because you're kind of showing both.
so what I'm seeing here, what I have, it shows it butts into that morning room, which if that's the case, it's probably going to be at the same height. And in that instance, we would just sew in almost the shingles to match. So everything would be flowing all as one smooth.
It
Point.
can't be at the same height. If you follow the siding line over, that hits about 8 inches above the windowsill.
Okay, I'm not sure. So I don't have that picture. So I
Oh,
honestly,
sorry.
I
I'm
sorry.
looking
I
at this
honestly
picture
don't know.
here. So I'm seeing if you follow that roof where it hits the house, it looks like it's 8 to 12 inches above the sill of the window.
So then I would assume it's definitely below that.
So then
because we
you're-
wouldn't go up to that window.
Right, yeah, your elevation shows you hitting 1 foot
foot
below
below.
that window, going across. So then if you actually butt up to this, you would be doing another roof, I would assume at the same pitch.
Yes.
Okay, it would need to be the same pitch, otherwise that'll look
Yeah,
like
it wouldn't.
scissors.
Yeah, we wouldn't do it off like that. It'd
Okay.
be the same pitch.
Same pitch, dropped below that, coming forward. Okay. So then there's a window on the elevation that doesn't exist, or it's in the wrong place. Or this isn't the scale.
That's an existing window, Jen?
And you're also showing this roof being higher than the existing roof, but it would be lower.
Right?
This existing morning room roof, on the elevation, you're showing a window right here near where this ends.
Okay.
Like maybe that window's over here instead.
Could be.
I don't think this is quite to scale. And then you're showing that your roof is a lot higher than the existing roof, which actually you'd be coming in underneath, below it.
So if that would be the case, we would still just match the roof that's there. We wouldn't have the two roofs line up differently.
Yeah, right.
Right, it'd have to be the same pitch, and you'd have to be under
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it would definitely be the same pitch. Everything would just line up.
You'd be under it by about, a
Yeah.
foot and a half or 2 feet or so.
Yeah, because that wouldn't work anyway if you tried to go at a different pitch. Just you wouldn't be able to finish things
So-
off nice, and it would
We
just
wouldn't allow it either.
yeah.
But,
yeah.
all right, so I'm looking at
But you're
this.
extending out further than that existing rim. So if you're already coming in below it and you're extending out further, then your gutter line will be about 3 feet possibly below the existing gutter line. Because if you're already going to be 2 feet below, and then you're extending out further, your roof's going to get lower as you come out. So I'm a little concerned with making sure that the height, the edge of your roof isn't down too low where it's gonna cut off the view, and look
Yeah,
squat
yeah.
on the yeah.
You know what the pitch is?
It says
512
on here.
Yeah.
There's plenty of pitch to put shingles on.
Right, yeah.
I'm curious, the steps you're showing about close to 14 steps, just one long run of stairway.
Yep.
Sometimes it's nice to have a break. I'm not saying you have to do it. But it's nice to have a little landing
Like a
somewhere,
landing,
maybe halfway down through.
These
and
are pretty, well, they're rebuilding. The existing steps look like they're pretty shallow.
yeah.
A 6-12 pitch is pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
6 inches rise to 12 inches run. That's pretty comfortable if you don't have a landing.
Yeah.
I know you're allowed to go up to
I think 7.5 is
or
it?
7.83 or something. But that gets kind of steep, especially if people put shorter treads on.
Yeah, it's a
So-
long fall if you start tripping from the top. Though.
Yeah.
Right.
So sometimes it's, and then you have an option of even turning the steps if you want. So, but I think it'd be nice to split a landing in there somewhere maybe.
What is the rise?
I counted the way it's drawn 14 steps. So I'm guessing 15 rises.
It's showing 1 foot rise.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually they end up about 10 3/4.
Yeah,
On
so
the
you're
run.
just putting a 1x10.
It's 2 deck boards, 2 5/4 deck boards that we
Okay,
butt
so that's
together.
11 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works better, plus it drains better. And those are composite too?
Yes.
And then the stringers are probably wood that you trim out?
Yep.
Okay. And
So-
those-
My concern is just knowing how these roof lines line up, because in your section, or in your elevation, you're showing that you're above it, which you probably can't be. You probably need to be below it. You're also showing 2 different pitches. You're saying the new one is 512, but you're showing the existing at about a 412.
Oh yeah, so I do see that. Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I
There's a
do see
few-
what you're saying. Yeah.
And then, the elevation here is showing, that you're up much higher, which you can't be, and this window is probably over here, but I'm not even sure that these are spaced right. So, I would like to say, like preliminarily, I think this would be approvable, but I think that the drawings need to be corrected before we do that. I think that the idea of wrapping the posts, I think that you're doing great with the color, the roof, you know, the pitch is good, you have gutters, I think it'll be an attractive addition, but I think that this drawing needs to be corrected before we do it.
Okay.
Okay?
Do we want to address this stuff with some type of landing?
I don't see
I
that we
know-
can
I know.
require, I think it could be a recommendation, just,
Yeah.
but either to keep the pitch shallow, because when you are going an entire flight of steps, this existing one looks to be decently shallow.
Yeah.
That's probably lower than the one stage.
Yeah, but, so
Okay,
we can keep that as a recommendation, but I
Yeah.
don't think it's.
so we're gonna table this,
Okay.
and, but I would keep the notes.
Yeah, so figure out this, it's just this, rear elevation and side
Just,
elevation,
okay, just how those roof lines are gonna meet and then.
how the roof lines work and where the windows, yeah,
Okay,
and just, yeah, bring that back,
Okay.
and we should be good.
okay,
I think it's good.
okay. All right, sounds good.
So motion to table by John, seconded by me. I'll second it.
Okay, thank you.
The princess
Thank
has to be a
you.
little bit more accurate.
Okay, will do, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
I would never have known that.
When we do this view, there's a distance, this can be, so when we actually figure out
Because that's the maximum.
how long they have the building, they give it
Oh, okay.
You know,
This is
gentlemen,
exactly what it looks like.
I need to-
when we do these decks, like, you know, we're
Let me,
giving opinions on the deck part, but it comes with the,
The stair, he did give us a stair detail. I don't think it was drawn for this job. I think it's just a standard stair detail
Yeah.
that they have. It says max 7 3/4, and that's uncomfortable outdoors.
Mhm.
You know, even in a house, I mean, you'll know that to be the steep step of, you know, the steep steps on an old
Yeah.
house.
7 3/4, they counting the step though, the 5/4 step.
You mean 7 3/4 rise?
7 3/4 rise.
8 1/4 is the maximum you're allowed to have.
Yeah,
it.
so,
You're allowed
for
to
the
eat,
building.
oh, for an attic
Yeah, 8 1/4 is the maximum rise that you can have.
in residential.
He's probably
In
right.
commercial,
Yeah.
you're not allowed to.
and then when you add
You
this,
can't.
when you add the step itself, it could be anywhere between 5/4 or 3/4.
No,
Yeah,
because that includes the tread.
Oh, I did.
it's
right?
just a step, yeah, and they can't
Yeah,
change
no, but I
one
know
for
attic
eight.
steps sometimes are really steep like that.
Yeah, it's just-
And then for the landing, depending on what this distance is we'll determine if he needs to put a landing in it at the building department, because
Yeah.
there's a required distance the stringer's allowed to be before you have.
15
Right.
or something.
So,
I'm not sure off the top of my head, and it depends
Right.
on what he's
But it's something
using.
like that where they give you a number of,
Yeah, and there's a set number for the type of wood that he's using that would be,
oh, for the type of wood even.
yeah, like a 2x8 or 2x12.
Oh, interesting.
for
Okay.
what? He said he was using the 5/4, I think.
For the stepping part, yeah, but I meant for the stringer
Oh,
itself.
for stringer, yeah. But now they
Oh,
make
for the
materials
integrity of the
that,
stringer.
yeah,
Yeah.
you trim it
Okay.
out on the side now with the, you've probably seen it. But
Yeah.
like, are we allowed to say anything about the deck part or only the roof part?
Both, if it comes through and
If
it's
it
being
comes,
constructed at the
it's like
same
a,
time.
okay,
Yeah. But this, I mean, there's not much to say about it as long as he's trimming it out.
Yeah.
And it's not a low deck where you need skirting.
right,
It's occupiable underneath.
yeah. Right, so I didn't know if I was overstepping or, you know, I mean, we don't do decks, but
Yeah.
like she said, I meant. it's
You can
kind
leave
of
a
deck.
recommendation. Sometimes maybe they didn't.
Well, they
think of
definitely
that.
they got to put a landing if it's 14 steps. That's pretty steep.
We have that. We don't have a
Yeah.
landing.
Oh,
Now, how
really?
far is it gonna come up?
Well, it depends what your house, your deck is.
It was not coming out.
Yeah.
We need a new one.
We gotta still do the call on it, sorry. For the motion?
Motion,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mr. Midley,
Yeah,
Mrs. Frazier,
Yes.
Mr. Spice?
Yes.
and I think we're all done.
Yeah. Does anyone have anything else for the meeting?
No, I'm ready to go home. I'm always ready.
Yeah.
It's like long days.
There are long
I'll be
days.
home some days, you know.
Mhm.
I've been outside actually working,
Then you-
which hasn't been bad.
It makes you tired though.
You know what? It does, like at the end of the day, you're like,
Motion to adjourn?
Yes. I'll second it.
Mrs. Frazier,
Yes.
Mr. Midley,
Yes.
Mr. Spice.
Yes.